One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One of the highlights of your background in this industry is you've been a part of a number of other outside leadership groups. You were the president of NACWAA, now Women Leaders in College Athletics of College Sports. Been on the NCAA Women's Basketball Committee, chair of the FCS Council. For those who are listening to this podcast who want to be an AD, is there a such thing as being too involved off of your own campus? And if so, how do you balance the two?
You know, I think there is, but it was really important when I first came to Monmouth because I knew nothing about Monmouth, and very few people did. We always talked about this sort of hidden gem on the Jersey Shore, and I really thought that it was important that we work to get some kind of exposure, that the name doesn't sound completely. The NCAA used to always, and sometimes still do, say Monmouth University and then in brackets New Jersey, which always sort of drove us nuts. There is another Monmouth University. It's in Illinois, but it's a Division III institution. So it didn't seem to mean that we would have to get our state to, and that's not our part of our name. So, I took on those roles because I thought that would really help the university. The two presidents during the time I did this really did agree that that was important for the university and for its branding and its marketing. But I'll tell you, at the end of the women's basketball committee work, I really felt like, oh boy, I had lost my department a little bit. I was really gone more than I was here, and that's just a really tough role. I have my deputy athletic director has been here longer than I have, and he's a wonderful, wonderful administrator. If I hadn't had him, I think this could have been worse. But I put the brakes on, said I wouldn't do anything more, and that was really important. I sort of had to get back to doing the things that I was actually being paid to do, and I think that was important. But I don't think we got hurt. But I think you have to be careful because once you get tabbed in some of these roles, they just keep wanting you back because you have a good work ethic. You try to do the best you can. You're not going to slack off, and you need that. And every organization needs volunteers. I understand that, but you have to be careful.
Each institution within the Division I landscape has its own challenges based on the own variables of the department and overall university or college. But are there times, given where you guys sit, where you see what's happening in the Power 5 leagues, and at times maybe you're thankful that you don't have to deal with some of those pressures?
Well, I admire the work that they do because I can't imagine the pressure that they have from so many different groups of people and the sort of the flash flood world that they live in. But I think at the end of the day, we do have very similar pressures, and I think right now it's addressing the student-athlete welfare issues and so much of the student-athlete entitlement issues that come along. I think the Power 5 have a lot more difficulty because it's such a public environment for them, but the same issues are being handled here where I just don't have to deal with the kind of media exposure that they have. But I think at the end of the day, too, our jobs are very HR-orientated, hiring and firing and figuring out who is a best fit, how to make this culture right, how to be a good front door of the institution. I don't think those things change. I'm really happy with the level we're at. I love the FCS football. I think it gets itself in perspective, and FBS football is pretty special, but I like the fact that football doesn't run our program. It's an extremely important part of our program, but so is the outdoor track and field team and the undefeated field hockey team. So I'm a real generalist in that environment, and I think I would be a very bad FBS AD because it would be hard for me to allow football to run the way it must run to be successful at the FBS level. But I do admire what they do because I think they, we probably juggle 5 or 6 balls at FCS. They're juggling double that, and I don't know. I love I love my red wine. I think I would be in a lot of trouble with FBS.
And that's today's One Question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.